Let's head it up for Bill.
Hi, I'm Bill Coleman, and I believe improv can save the world. I believe the study of improvisational comedy should be part of the curriculum of every school, the training of every business, and written into the Constitution as a requirement for running for public office. The reason I think all these things is that building a good comic improv scene is the same set of tools as building a great community. By following the rules of play, improvisers seek common ground, learn how to more actively attend to one another, and feel the rejuvenating force of failure. The first rule of improv is yes and. That means your job on stage is to find agreement with your partner and build on that reality. If your scene partner says, "We are in a coal mine," you are in a coal mine. You cannot say, "What? We're not in a coal mine, and why are you wearing that beekeeper's outfit?" Negation and mockery can get a quick laugh, but to build a relationship on distrust is not to build a relationship at all. The scene goes nowhere fast. But if instead you try to seek common ground, see where they're coming from, see where your angles of vision intersect, you start to build a trust even as you build a world. "We're in a coal mine," your partner says. "Yes," you might say, "and look, our pet canary, he's woozy." Imagine a world where seeking and building common ground is everyone's first impulse. Improvisers live in that world. It's a world built of attention. Improvisers hang on every word their partner says. They do so not only to maintain the relationship and the reality they've discovered. The guy in the coal mine with me is named Todd. We're amateur spelunkers who spent all of our money on a canary, which is currently perched unsteadily on Todd's left shoulder. But also because improvisers have the expectation that the next thing their partner says might be the very best thing that's ever been said. It could be the key that unlocks an entire scene. I once heard a scene on a podcast where a high school student's trying to dupe his high school history teacher by printing out his own version of the Constitution. And he says, "Look, Teach, see, I was right. It says, 'We the pupils.'" And the teacher, instead of shooting the idea down, "Tommy, I think the Constitution was not printed on an Arby's napkin," instead, he chooses agreement. "My God," he says, "I've been wrong for so long. I have so many former students to call." You can actually hear the rest of the cast quicken as that line is said, as a rich comedic mind suddenly comes into view. Imagine a world where people have a sense of wonder about one another, a sense of joyful anticipation. Improvisers live in that world. It's a world of generative failure, where honest mistakes are seen and celebrated for what they are, occasions for discovery. Once, toward the end of class, my ninth graders and I decided to improvise a story. I would angle my conductor's pen from student to student to say who would speak next, and often switching in the middle of sentences to encourage active listening. But first we needed a title. The Beast of the, and then my pen angled over to Sally, who promptly panicked, and maybe thinking of two words at once said "ba," and then "da," pencil. "The Beast of the Bada Pencil," I said. Oh, she was embarrassed. She wanted to take it back to erase her mistake. But there are no mistakes in improv, as we talked about in a previous class, only gifts. Threads to be woven into the pattern. And so it was, late in the story, when the Beast had overcome many trials and traveled the known galaxy, he rushes into a quick trip, desperate to find the amulet of ruin, which ironically will help him save the world. And what he does not know, in fact, none of us knows, is that he needs to find something else before he finds the amulet. This plot point is disclosed by the clerk after the Beast says he wants the amulet. The clerk says, "I don't have anything like that, but a pencil I do have." It was Sally herself who voiced the words of the clerk. It was brilliant. Had we been on stage, that callback, that sudden rehabilitation of a mistake would have garnered an applause break. We all broke into laughter. It was so joyful. Sally was beaming. On their best days, improvisers inhabit a space of yes and that keeps the work of living common, keeps people listening, keeps conversation exploratory rather than gladiatorial. In such a space, we seek joyful patterns and consider mistakes precious gifts. That is a world worth living in. It's a world worth sharing, and it's a world worth saving. Thank you.